then relax. You've seen Johnny's match reaction. If you haven't, go out and check it out. I am exhausted after just watching that. This is Scoring the Players. Stay tuned. We've got the last word coming up later on tonight. We're going to just go straight into it. Let's start with. I'm going to have Nick Pope. I've got the easy one this time. What did he have to do? Not much. Conceded, yes. I don't think you can do anything about it. It's 1-on-1. It's very difficult to save 1-on-1s, especially with the talent that's amongst the Premier League at the minute. But he's kicking with, but I don't think he's the worst goalkeeper in terms of kicking tonight, because I think Mr. Steele had a shocker with his feet. But 7, I think that's fair. I thought you'd be tested so much more, Johnny. Obviously, we'll talk about that in the last word. But a 7 out of 10, it goes to show you. We all thought, Newcastle fans thought you'd be tested more, but 7 out of 10. Kieran Trippier, who has just been nominated in the top 7 players by EA Sports and Sky Sports.
Not the top 4, the top 3.
Top 7.
Oh, top 7.
Top 7 for the nominations for best player of the season. How do you think he got on tonight? Because he was up against the Japanese whiz kid.
I thought he was superb. And you can see both sides of what Kieran Trippier brings to Newcastle United. Attacking performances-wise, 2 assists, and defensively, Matoma. I don't think he really had a shot on Nick Pope, which I think
he handled so well.
I think he did as well. I think Matoma had maybe one shot that I can think of where it went over the crossbar in the first half.
Off after what? An hour?
Incredible performance by our skipper, and that is why he's so important. And the fact he's been fit all season just shows why Newcastle are where they are on the table. 9 out of 10.
And he's got plenty of Champions League experience. Shall we qualify? Because it's not official just yet. More on that, the last word. But I'll go with the right centre back, Fabian Schär. You could see his tactic when he gets the ball, that little clip through ball. Trippier tries it as well. It didn't come off as much, a little bit sloppy. Question mark. I haven't seen the goal back. Is Botman and Schär too much spread? Blame, if I'm pointing the finger, if I'm being nitty-picky, it's probably at Fabian Schär a bit more. So for that, I'll score him an 8, but I haven't seen it back. If I've got to replay a few times, I might change my mind. But literally, we've just came out and we've bumped into hundreds of people on the way back wanting to congratulate us on the win. From NUFC, women to Josh to subscribers, what have you. But I'm going left field. Sven Botman.
I thought he was superb. We needed a big performance from Sven Botman, and he's been obviously nominated for Young Player of the Year. Superb performance, really good performance, strong performance. And there was a moment in the first half where Brighton played a lovely through ball, but he read it so well and just got his foot, because if that was the case, Brighton were through, and it was just Nick Pope to beat, and he was absolutely brilliant. The defence, I think, were pretty solid. Look, Brighton had a lot of possession, but let's be honest, second half, where they did have a lot of possession, Nick Pope was barely tested. Obviously, the goal. I'm blaming more Fabian Schär than I am Sven Botman for that.
I agree. I think there's a bit where Botman in the second half has to win the challenge, where we're 2-1 up.
It is, and it's vital. Those are the moments that win games, and that's a big factor why we won the game today. 9 out of 10. Yeah,
and Sven Botman, if you haven't seen, we're doing awards, so make sure you get over the community tab, because he's up for signing of the season, young player of the season, player of the season. So go over and have a look at the community tab. But Dan Burn against his old side, he would have been. I mean, he's a Geordie, so he'll always be up for it, but a little bit of extra motivation tonight. This has just landed nicely because he's got his first Premier League goal. Obviously scored against Leicester in the League Cup. For a great finish with his turkey foot. But that goal, his wild celebrations, again handled Brighton's wingers really well, including Cisco later on, who came on. I thought he was absolutely superb, Dan Burn. So I'm going to match. I even think defensively he was absolutely outstanding. So I'm going to match that 9 out of 10. I would probably say he's probably the pick out of the defenders because he's got the goal. But I'm just saying to Johnny, pick Dan Burn because he scored the goal. But let's move into midfield. I'm going to be nice. You can have any one of the 3 in centre mid.
I'll have Joe Linton. I thought he was a bit of a warrior tonight. Got battered and bruised and beaten up, but never gave up. And that is why, for me, he's my player of the season. I've mentioned this so many times this season. He's my player of the season. But he was a colossus at times. He probably should have been booked, if I'm honest, but he just done the right things at the right time. The midfield was tested tonight, and that was a tough examination today against a very, very good Brighton side. They had to be more rigid in their position, more than anything. But he was such an influence, especially in the first half as well, for why Newcastle were doing so well. He was picking up, loose balls if there were any from Brighton, and he could have easily had a goal today as well. But Was he as good as the defence? Probably not. I'm going to go 8.5.
Oh, the 0.5s. But I think, Saicedo didn't get the better of him in the midfield. But I'm going to go with Joe Willock. It's sad to say because he looks like he's done his hamstring and that's probably done for the season, which is probably even more important that Newcastle would tonight because it's likely, because we're so stretched at the minute with Sean out and Matt Ritchie obviously out as well. You could play Gordon there, but it's probably going to be Elliot Anderson on Monday night who'll get his start. But I thought he was busy, great link-up play. I'm not going to score him as high, I'll score him an 8, but he wasn't so great at Leeds, I don't feel, but much better performance tonight. And hopefully Villa do us a favour and we don't have to rely as such on Monday night, but Newcastle nearly there. I fancy Elliot Anderson against Leicester, so it's a good game for Elliot Anderson to come in. But yeah, 8. And you've left with Bruno.
I'm going to say disciplined performance by Bruno tonight, especially when it was on a yellow card. Shouldn't have been. It was one of those fouls that I think if the referee had a bit more about him, he may have given him the benefit of the doubt because it's a borderline yellow card. Maybe even it is a yellow card, but maybe on his first challenge, I think he could possibly get away with it. But after that, very disciplined, and what an impact! What an impact! Getting the goal right at the end. He was our outlet at times when he had the ball to try and get the likes of
the deepest as well, wasn't he, tonight?
He was. He had to be though. We had nobody else. And Joe Linton does so well a bit further forward. He had to play that position today, and the performance by everybody was absolutely spectacular. I'll match him with Joe Linton 8.5.
Extra work. Do you know when I edit these? I've got to like.
Just a point. It's a point and a 5. That's it.
Yeah. Right. Who else is there? Where should I go? Left or right? I'll go right. Miggy lost his head. That's the first time I've seen him.
What a first half performance though. What a first half performance by Miguel Almiron. Showed a little bit of everything in that first half, and I thought he was the best player on the pitch in the first half.
He was absolutely brilliant. He was all over the place, winning the ball back defensively. And he done a Megan. He was just clever little touches, and he was calm. And he knows that his place is a little bit under threat. But Jacob Murphy hasn't been seen. Maybe he's nursing some sort of injury, really. But lost his head a little bit, and there was that bit of fieriness. Maybe Enciso said something in because that's like the South American, isn't it?
I think he knew exactly what he was doing.
You know, he said something about like something personal because he just lost it.
Yeah, but I think he was clever enough to kind of go, let's waste a little bit more time.
Well, it's either that or he's just completely lost it. You know what, I like that. We say that about Joe Linton every week, didn't we? We like a bit of bite, but you've been left with the other one across there, the left-hand side, which is it working? Is that the negative to come out tonight? It is working because we've won, but I mean, long term it's not, is it?
Long term it won't be. However, it was a gamble by Eddie Howe, and we'll mention him at the end, to play Isak on the left and then Wilson up front, but Wilson's just scoring more and more goals, and you can't. Sometimes it's probably more like when you look at the substitutes on the bench tonight, he didn't really have much choice, did he? Let's be honest. And I think, yes, Isak's went and played out of position, but the only alternative really was Alan Saint-Maximin or Anthony Gordon, and Alan Saint-Maximin, in my opinion, can't play 75 minutes at this moment in time. Anthony Gordon's just not ready for this level right now, so I think he had to sacrifice that. And look, Isak had his moments. He had a shot on, which went a bit well wide in the first half, but he does link up well, and he did have, Brighton, I think we were nervy him a few times, but I don't think it was, the best performance from Alexander Isak, but it certainly wasn't the worst, and we certainly, saw good sides of what Alexander Isak can do on the football pitch. Was he as good as the rest? Probably not. I'll go 7.5.
Yeah, he's probably the lowest, but with Paul. But I left me with Callum Wilson, 19. I said to you at Leeds, didn't I? He can get 20 goals. He's got 19.
He's not 18.
He got 2 today. He was on 17 before tonight.
He didn't.
Did not get 2 today?
No. I hope I'm right. I only see him score 1.
So it was Dan Burn, Bruno, Callum Wilson.
Own goal.
Oh yeah, right. Ignore what I've just said then. I thought he scored 2. That's what goes for how much I was getting involved, loving it. But yeah, Callum Wilson got his goal. Up against, I thought Lewis Dunk was actually pretty decent for the large period of the game, but got his goal, and he really should have had that second one. But he's scoring goals, and for me right now, I pick Callum Wilson over Isak. Up front I am, because the man is just on fire. But he could still get 20 goals. He's only 2 off, you know what I mean? And that's incredible considering after the World Cup. We said it doing Leeds. He was just bang out of form, and he hustles, he's got pace, he's got a bit of everything, he's on form. for me, you just kind of drop in next Monday. Well, next Monday, it's Monday coming up. I feel like it's next Monday because it feels like it's been a long day. I'm going to score 8 out of 10 for Callum Wilson today.
8?
What do you reckon should go higher?
I think he was, even though he was quiet, an assist and a goal.
9 then. I'll go 9. I'm not doing 0.5s. I don't do it on this channel. That's for people who bottle it and can't give a mark between the two.
Who's he on about?
The substitutes were only going to score 1 because the rest are just going to be non-applicable because they barely kicked. So Elliot Anderson, obviously we mentioned Joe Willock coming off injured, and hopefully that's not too serious. But a good half an hour from.
Yeah, very, very good half an hour. I think he did the job that Eddie Howe asked him to do. Look, Joe Willock normally gets substituted anyway, so he may have got 15-20 minutes at the worst, but good experience for him, and he's probably going to start on Monday night, and I'm not worried that he's starting on Monday night, which shows how much we trust in him, how much trust there is in Elliot Anderson. Look, he was brilliant. I think he was brilliant in spells because I'm going to mention it again, the midfield in the second half just had to do a job positionally. Yeah. They had to just work their arse off.
A lot of leg work, wasn't there?
It was a lot of run, a lot of leg work, and he showed today that he can be trusted in that midfield against a very good side. Let's put it out there. The fact that he played half an hour, I'll match him with Isaac 7.5 because I would have got him higher, but I think because the fact he
at the
played half
time a lot of the work was off the ball, and when we scored those 2 quick goals, he wasn't really involved too heavily.
But you'd be happy with him on Monday night, wouldn't you? You wouldn't think, oh shit, Ellie Anderson's playing, would you?
I think if we didn't win, I know, not being disrespectful, I would have been a tad worried if we needed a result, but I think it's
still need a result.
We still need, well, we might not. Up the Villa and all that. That's got to be clipped up now, I shouldn't have said that. Anyways, as I say, all the rest of the subs are just getting non-applicable, as you can see on your screen, because we're not talking about 2 minutes of football. But Eddie Howe, now I was pricking it today. That's the most nervous I've been coming in. Put it on Twitter. I thought, this worries me. I know they got battered, which was a freak result at Everton, but apart from that, Brighton play behind Manchester City, the best footballing side. Look it up if you're getting confused what I'm saying, because they can just rip teams apart left, right, and they've got the unearthed talents across the world for bargain fees. The scouting system is right up there, and obviously Dan Ashworth has some part in that, of course. And now he's at St James's Park, but we absolutely battered them first half, probably the first hour, and then obviously they got the goal back. But overall, you know, yes, on the counter we got that third and killed them off in the fourth, and Brighton lost momentum. I'm going to go right high. I've got to hit 9s and 10s here.
Yeah, I think Eddie Howe showed that he's very, very good at looking what an opposition's weaknesses are, especially first half. You press them, and you just think about positionally where they're going to be when they decide to go a little bit further along. And positionally, the defenders were brilliant. They didn't let them go past the halfway line in that first half. Nick Pope's I think he's had one save at him, but it was like straight at his throat. I think that just shows how good of a performance it was, and we showed so many different sides. Second half, look, I'm nitpicking with the goal, but I think it's a very good goal from Brighton. Yeah. Billy Gilmore's played an unbelievable through ball. Undav's made the run perfect, and it's a good finish. Apart from that, Newcastle was spot on, absolutely spot on, and they deserve the win. They deserve so much credit, and Eddie Howe deserves so much credit a daily, because that was a real test. We dropped points against Leeds, we lost against Arsenal, but we've just showed today. Are we up for the battle? Yeah, we are. We fucking are.
And you're seeing pundits on Sky, on BT, all saying that Newcastle are the one that are going to drop
Newcastle
out.
Newcastle are going to wobble, aren't they? Newcastle are going to wobble. They're going to drop points against Brighton, aren't they?
You're seeing it on CBS as well, which is for you Americans that are watching as well. Oh, Newcastle are the team that's going to drop out. Eat your words now. It doesn't look like that, but we're not finished. We've still got another video. What we're going with Eddie Howe then? Shall we go 9?
I'm going to go 10.
Alright, let's go 10. I'm feeling generous as well. So Eddie Howe gets a massive 10 out of 10 tonight, and Newcastle are on the brink of Champions League. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Stay tuned, because we do have the last word with us two again. But see you everyone. Drop us a like. Ta-da.